start off by mentioning that I am coming to you from Victoria, which is the beautiful traditional territories of the Lekwungen people, also known as the Esquimalt and Songhees First Nation. So yeah, I'm here in Oak Bay, and it's lovely. So yeah, BC Marine Trails, I am their Stewardship, Education, and Communications Coordinator, and sort of what I want to highlight here is just a big component of what we do here, and a lot of this presentation really goes a shout out to our volunteers, because what we do, we can't do without our volunteers. We are a volunteer organization with just 2 employees, myself and Cam. And Cam does our First Nations engagement, and the rest is this wonderful board of volunteers, as well as all the other volunteers who help with our various projects. Just for example here, some of the stewardship work that we do here on the coast. And actually, you know what, there might be some people here who don't actually know what we are specifically. I'm just going to touch on that. If you look at that little map on the bottom there, it's a map of coastal BC. And essentially what we do is we provide a map for recreation purposes, people on the water, often paddlers, to essentially plan your trip and have safe harbor from place to place, campsites, to map out your trip and know that you have a place to land and a place to camp and what it's going to be like. And so on our website, as a member, if you go on, you have a map. You can use distancing tools to plan out your trip, and you can read a lot of information about the specific campsites and launch sites along your way. So it is a wonderful resource for recreating on the coast of BC. And we're able to maintain it and the information about it across the coast of BC, which is just huge because of our volunteers. And I'll get into that a little bit more, how that happens. But some of the other stewardship projects we do, just as an overview, we do a very large beach cleanup every year on Vargas Island in Clayoquot Sound. So in the past year, we removed over 16 spruce sacks of debris. Spruce sacks are just those massive, as you can see in the photo, sacks of debris from Vargas Island, which is a really popular paddling destination close to Tofino. We partner with organizations like Surf Riders for this. We work with the House It Outdoor School and invite the House It Out to come with us as well. We're going to be doing this again in May of this coming year. It's a wonderful trip. We paddle out, we're kayakers, and we surf land, and then we spend a few days and just great camaraderie collecting debris and organizing it so that what can be recycled will be recycled, and then what needs to go specifically to the landfill will. We participated in World Ocean Week, turning World Ocean Day into a whole week, collecting marine debris and encouraging our members and paddlers to do beach cleanups wherever they were along the coast throughout that week and to highlight it. We'll be doing that again this year, of course. We have an annual, twice a year, we visit Gerald Island with a group of volunteers. And here we work with BC Parks to remove invasive species, specifically English ivy and some blackberry as well, Himalayan blackberry. And we just did this trip in April. It was my first time actually going out and doing it. It was amazing. The volunteers worked so hard. The most popular word that was said was, "It's so satisfying pulling that ivy, you know, and getting it out of there." And we've really made a difference on the island. You can see the endangered wood ferns are coming back. Access to various areas around the island is increasing. It's just a wonderful thing to see that's been happening over the years, clearing the ivy from Gerald Island, which is a short paddle from Nanaimo. And then additionally, we have site condition reports that get sent to us by our volunteers throughout the year, and I'll get into that as we go. So our site condition reporting, this is essentially what the information that we get from our volunteers that makes up our maps so that we can update the condition of the campsites along the coast for the public. And these site condition reports are so important and quite easy for volunteers to do. Essentially, if you are at a campsite or a place along the coast, you can use our site condition report through our Survey 123 app and input the data. There's some really easy prompts and questions to answer about the landing site, any any danger, fallen trees, garbage, anything like that. And if you want, you can take a photo and you submit it. It's quite a quick process, and it's really how we're able to do what we do with this site condition reporting by volunteers and paddlers up the coast. We encouraged folks to participate this past year by doing a contest. So we had Mustang Survival donate some prizes, and we had a lot of people, anyone who submitted a CR was able to be entered in the contest. It was a great little event. All this data essentially just helps us create the map and keep things up to date. Another component that's really big of our stewardship is our code of conduct. So a lot of research and effort went into creating this code of conduct. I think it mirrors some of the things that have been said by other organizations that they really promote, such as sort of the leave no trace when you go out, not to disturb or take anything. You're probably, you are on sensitive lands that are First Nations traditional territory. We ask as people paddling on the ocean to have your campfires below the high tide line from multiple reasons, and our code of conduct gets into the details of that, and other components as well. This is sort of a short form version that you're seeing here, and we have a longer version explaining all the details of this on our website. And we offer workshops and presentations on our code of conduct. We're working to get this into classrooms with guide outfitters, with colleges who are teaching guiding programs as well. And if anyone does see this and is interested in more information or presentation about it, just get in touch with me, my email that's on the bottom there. So our BC Code of Conduct, the Marine Trails Code of Conduct, is interwoven with our First Nations engagement. This is one of my favorite things that we've done recently. Cam worked with the Mamalilakula to create a storyboard, which if you go to our Facebook page, you'll see a bunch of posts about this, and you'll be able to link to the storyboard. But essentially, the Mamalilakula were asking to respectfully recreate in their territory what they saw as respectful, what they see as respectful paddling in their territory and visitation. And within that, our code of conduct was sort of adopted into that and promoted, as well as educating people about things like middens and clam gardens and how not to disrupt these really important cultural sites. So our stewardship is interwoven with our First Nations engagement. A big component as well here is our BC Marine Trails coastal caretakers. So to sort of encourage volunteers to sort of take ownership of this opportunity to report on the state of the coast and to be part of BC Marine Trails, you can sign up to become a coastal caretaker. So you can be an individual or a group, and essentially you're giving voice to the coast, which is visiting coastal sites, you're observing human impacts, you're interacting maybe with other visitors, you might be tidying up the site a little bit, and then you're sharing your data with us, whatever you did and experienced through that site condition reporting tool that is our Marine 123 app. These coastal caretakers are really valuable and really important, and we're so grateful to have them. And then they often get to participate in extra little stewardship projects, such as one we're doing with BC Parks Foundation at West Island near Nanaimo. So if you're interested, if you want to sign on as a coastal caretaker, you just go to our website, you go to our Protecting Our Coast link, and there's a Volunteer With Us section, so you can learn more there and sign on. And so what you're doing essentially does make a difference. This is just a little recap of the site condition reporting that we ask coastal caretakers to do on a volunteer basis with our Survey 123 app. And so you can see these are all dots of where we've got information from the coast of some really remote regions that we just wouldn't know. And this information is so wonderful because we get to share it with BC Parks and First Nations and other partner groups, and it's really incredibly valuable. Well, thanks to anyone who wants to do a site condition report. And again, so just kind of bringing it home here, if you're interested, you're welcome to join us as a coastal caretaker or as just a person who wants to do a site condition report, or if you're interested in any one of our stewardship events that we do, such as Vargas Island or Gerald Island. And so another little thing here is that graphic you can see there, that is a sticker that we've created. It's waterproof. You can go on your kayak. It has a QR code that you can scan and look at what our code of conduct is, and just reminds you of how to respectfully visit these sites throughout our coast of BC. And yeah, just essentially thank you to our volunteers. We have 25,000 kilometers of coastline to cover for making a connective map of safe paddling throughout the coast, and we cannot really have eyes on this area without our volunteers. So what we do and all the stewardship we do is because of people who join in and share what they see and experience on our coast. So thank you to them. And if you're interested, just get in touch and we can certainly direct you to how you can help out. And that's about it for me.
Thank you, Robin. The caretaker program, is that like people are just approaching you, or do you go out and try and kind of recruit some people that you know are, you know, active and out there a lot?
Yeah, so essentially we have quite a large membership base. So our map that I described at the beginning there is a public view, like a public map, but then there's another layer of information that you can access if you become a BCMT member, which is essentially a $30 annual fee, and that just helps to fund our various projects. And that because of those members, we already are following through social media. We were able to just do a call out and say, hey, we've created the Coastal Caretakers. Do you want to sign on? Essentially, you're just saying that, hey, when I go out and paddle, I'm going to think about taking note of what I see and experience in these sites and reporting back to BC Marine Trails so that information can go back into the membership map that I benefit from. So we really, did a call out and got a great response. And it actually really did increase the number of SCRs we got. There's a time we only got 70 SCRs in a year. Then we got up to 200 in the past year. We've gotten over 300 this year. So it is increasing the number of reporting we're getting. Over 300 reports now is huge. So, yeah.
And has the number of caretakers kind of increased with that, or is it like the caretakers are doing more?
So the caretakers has only been around for a year. So this is our first year with the caretakers, and it definitely did boost the number of SCRs we got. Yeah, it's wonderful.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, excellent. All right. Well, thanks to all the panelists. Let's move on to the kind of the Q&A portion of the webinar. Anybody that wants to add questions, we have a few that have rolled in, but feel free to pop any more into that Q&A button, and we'll do our best here. So before the webinar started, we had a few people asking about how to engage their communities in stewardship activities. So, what are some advice that some of you guys are out there, Jackie, Kim, Robin, any of you can weigh in on this. What are some of the things that you found as especially effective for sort of engaging members and other groups or whatever it is to sort of get involved in individual projects or just in general? Maybe Robin, you can start there since you're still up.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, so I was thinking about this question earlier, and in terms of a way that's really something that's really beneficial for the stewardship work that we do, and that tends to bring in more people that we as just a single organization won't reach on our own is I find partnerships are incredibly important to us, and we really value those. Our partnerships with especially local First Nations, like for example, our stewardship project on Vargas Island, we partner, we reach out to the Howsett First Nation as well as we reach out to Surfrider in the local area. So those reaching out and having those partnerships, they themselves, will come and participate, but they also have a broader reach, right? So rather than us just reaching out to our little network, it's another community reaching out to their network, and it's just bigger and just it really can bring more people in and get the word out. Those partnerships are so valuable, and in this time of reconciliation, it's really important to us having those First Nation partnerships, and especially because we are working in those traditional territories, and then just that helps us to really build our volunteer network. It just grows from there, and really keeping track of who's volunteered with you and remembering to reach out to those same volunteers because they are often keen to come back and often bring a friend.